What's up, everyone? My name is Marie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's build, I'm actually doing something that I have never done on my channel before, and that is building a Victorian house. Now, building Victorian houses is something that I'm not very familiar with because, I don't know, I'm just not very familiar with this style, and it's not really my favorite style of houses, I don't think. I mean, it looks really cool, and every time I see someone else do a Victorian build, I'm always like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool and so detailed and so like, yeah, I don't know, I just really like the vibe. But then again, whenever I start building a Victorian house myself, I'm always like, okay, I don't know if I can do this because, I don't know, I'm way too critical, of course. But yeah, I just think it's a very difficult style to accomplish and like get right for some reason because, yeah, I'm just not too familiar with it. But for today's build, I thought, why not give it a try? Because for this build, that's actually what happened. I was scrolling through like Instagram and through other people's Sims pages, and I saw someone upload a picture of, or a screenshot of, a Victorian house that they had just built, and it looked so cool and it was so cute. I think it was a tiny Victorian house, so that made it look even more cute because it was so small and so tiny. But yeah, that really like inspired me to just sit down and try to build a Victorian house. So that's also why this video is a little bit longer because, yeah, it took me a while. I was fiddling around with the size of the house for a while because I knew that I didn't want it to be too big, but I also didn't want it to be too small. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I knew is that I wanted to make it green. So it will end up being green because I went on Pinterest just to, get some inspiration. So I was looking through Pinterest and I saw this green Victorian house and I thought it just looked so cute. And green is my favorite color. So yeah, if I was gonna do something this difficult, I thought I would just give myself the opportunity to make it green. I mean, I know I can always make my houses green. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, for this one, it just really helped me to, just look through Pinterest, and which is something that I usually do whenever I want, not always, but if I want to build something and I'm not really too inspired and I don't exactly know what I want, but I just know that I want to build something, I'll just go on Pinterest and see if I can find something that inspires me. So for this build, I actually needed to because I had no idea what to start off with. I also just really wanted to build in Strangerville again because it had been a while, and I thought, why not just go to Strangerville again because the world is so pretty. Now, Strangerville is definitely not like my favorite pack when it comes to gameplay, though I did like playing out the storyline, but it's one of those game packs that just, I would not want to play out that storyline again. I mean, it was fun doing it one time, but after doing it that one time, I already know exactly what I have to do, and it will just be annoying to get through everything because it did actually take a while, which is a good thing for a game. I mean, it was a good thing that it took me a while, but yeah, I just don't think I would want to play through that whole storyline again. So that is actually something that holds me back from playing in Strangerville, because if you don't like solve the Strangerville mystery, or whatever it's called, the world will look like a little weird and cloudy and weird things are going on. And I just, I don't know, but whenever I'm playing my game, I just don't feel like having all those freaks walking past my house every time and knocking on the door, and those weird like skies going on and the weird dust in the sky and those weird plants glowing everywhere. Like, I don't need that in my game because it's a little bit boring maybe, or maybe not, I don't know, but I'm just a little bit more of a realistic gameplay kind of player. I don't know. I just really like my gameplay to be a little bit more realistic and like family oriented, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't usually play in Strangerville. The same goes for Realm of Magic, which I didn't expect because I was really excited for that pack because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And I don't know, I was just really looking forward to having magic in the game. And I think it's really cool. I mean, I think it's a really fun aspect, but yeah, it's not something that I incorporate in my game. I mean, like if I want to play in Realm of Magic, if I want to make like a wizard or a witch or a spellcaster in this case and play in Realm of Magic, I would start a whole new game because I wouldn't want it to interfere with my like quote unquote regular families that I play in my free time. So yeah, I don't know. The same goes a little bit for Strangerville in that sense. So yeah, that was my rant, my rant about gameplay, I guess, and about Strangerville. But yeah, like I said, the gameplay is fun and all, but I think Strangerville is worth getting it for the world alone because I think it's so beautiful. I mean, just look at those mountains and in the background, and I don't know, it's so detailed and so beautiful and so pretty. So yeah, I just felt like sitting down and building in Strangerville just for the aesthetic and just for, you know, the looks of things. So that's what I did. And here you can see my house is already green. And I was actually at this point, I was really proud of myself because I really like the shape that it turned out to have. And yeah, those Strangerville doors and windows are just so beautiful, you guys. I don't know. Even though Victorian houses or Victorian style is not my favorite style to build in, those doors and windows, they're just beautiful. It really suits the house, and those shutters, those windows with the shutters on the side, I think it's just so beautiful. And I really like the vibe of the wraparound porch. It doesn't wrap all the way around the house, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just really gives you a nice outside space with a roof over it. And yeah, here you can just see me adding a little more details to the outside of the house. And what I also did for this build is something that I never really do, is play around with terrain tools. So I was thinking I'm already building a Victorian house, which is something that I never do and which is something that is way out of my comfort zone. So I might as well just try and play around with terrain tools as well, because if this house doesn't turn out the way I want it to be, at least, you know, I can say that I tried everything that I'm not very comfortable with, which is really good. I was a little bit scared of playing with the terrain tools, but I don't know, I got myself together and I tried, because what I was trying to achieve really is, obviously the house is built on a foundation, but I didn't want the house to look like it was built on a foundation. I wanted it to look like it was like on a hill or something, if that makes any sense. I wanted it to look like the stairs are needed to get to the door because the house is up on a hill rather than on a foundation, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I should have just created a hill first. So I wouldn't even really need the foundation. But yeah, I didn't really think of that ahead of time. So yeah, I just thought might as well just play around with the terrain tools and make it look that way. And I think it turned out all right. I think it turned out just fine. The annoying thing about terrain tools in The Sims, though, is your plants, your landscaping, they keep floating. I mean, sometimes they snap to the surface, but they don't really bend with the angle of the little hill. Obviously, they just stay like straight, like the way they are, which is unfortunate, but I guess that's just how it is. But then also, when you're playing around with terrain tools, the plants tend to not snap to the surface, but to just float in the air, which is a little bit annoying to me. I just never really know how to fix that, and I don't know if it's even possible to fix that. But that's actually the main reason why I never really play around with terrain tools all that much, is because my plants will be floating in the air. And that is something that I'd rather not have in my build because it looks weird. But yeah, that's that about terrain tools. And yeah, this is one of those homes again that I paid a lot of attention to the outside of the house and not so much to the floor plan ahead of time. So that happens to me all the time, and I keep saying that I want to work on that, but then it never happens. But yeah. Here you can see me fiddling around with the floor plan a little bit. It turned out very interesting and very cool. And it turned out like, I don't know, it really suits this house. You can see on the right here, that's going to be the dinner, the eating area. What's that word? I keep losing my words for some reason. But yeah, that's where I am gonna be placing the dinner table, and yeah, it turned out to have like a weird shape, but that's okay. I mean, I was fiddling around with that for a while, but you'll see me do that in a little while. And here I was going to try to do the kitchen, and I was really struggling with the color scheme for the inside of this house, especially for the kitchen, because what didn't really help is that I didn't really have a specific family in mind for this house. For the shortest time, like when I first started building this house, I was playing around with the idea of making this a starter home. So that means that it would have to be 20,000 simoleons or less. But yeah, I suck at doing that, and I'm just not great at doing that because I love landscaping and I love decor and just, making my builds look pretty and all. And so yeah, that didn't really work out for this house, especially also because I wanted it to look like it's an older house. So that's why you could probably already see me do that on the outside. I added lots of like cracks to the wall to make it look like it's an old little house. So that's why I wanted it to look very detailed and have lots of plants and grass and bushes around it, and that costs money. I mean, obviously you can get stuff in the debug catalog, which is what I did also. But yeah, at a certain point, I don't know. The debug catalog takes me a long time to like find everything because I don't have all the packs, but I'm pretty close to owning all the packs. So that's a lot of objects in the debug catalog. And yeah, and they, especially that's something that I found out with this build as well, is if you've been playing around with terrain tools and you've made like some hills and everything, the debug plans don't snap to that at all. So, I mean, it's already difficult to work with normal plans, like from the normal catalog when you have like manipulated the terrain, but the debug plans, they barely work. I mean, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I can't talk for some reason. I'm sorry. But yeah, like I said, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but that didn't really work out for me. So that's the point where I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm not going to be on a budget for this build. I'm just going to do whatever I want. So yeah, that's why I also didn't really have a specific family in mind. I mean, I kept playing around with the idea that this was going to be for 2 Sims. Maybe it's a house that has been in the family for a long time. Maybe a Sim inherited this house, if that's how you say it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I was thinking maybe a Sim like inherited this house and it's very old, but that means that they didn't have to buy a home themselves, so they could just move into this little old house, even though it's old and has lots of cracks, and the kitchen is a little bit outdated looking. The flooring is like, you can see that I used that flooring that looks like it's old and a little bit cracked. Not like specifically like dirty or anything. I didn't want the house to look dirty and gross, but just I wanted to have like the details of like an older house that has been here for like a couple hundred years, which is also the vibe that Victorian houses give me. Just in general, whenever I see like Victorian homes, they remind me of like, I don't know, like they're always like really old houses that are like a few hundred years old. I don't know if that's the case for all Victorian houses. If you know a lot more about that, please let me know, because I'm quite interested in that kind of thing. But yeah, as soon as I decided that I wanted to build a Victorian house, I already knew that I wanted it to look old. So old and a little bit weird, because it's also in Strangerville, and it could look like it's a little bit of a spooky house or a creepy house. So I just gave it that little vibe. Obviously, this house doesn't look creepy at all, but still, it looks like it's a little bit older and like a little bit more lived in, and the furniture is a little bit older. So that's something that I actually really enjoyed about building this house is, making it look a little older. And I was finally using those university curtains in this build because for some reason I keep forgetting that we have those curtains. And then I see other people using those curtains and I'm like, yes, of course, we have those. But it's also maybe because they're medium wall height curtains and I barely ever use medium wall height. So for this build I did though. And I always really like when I get the chance to use these like window seats, those window couches, if that's how you call them, I don't really know. But whenever I end up building walls like that, where those couches fit in perfectly, I'm like, yes, I don't really ever think about that ahead of time. But whenever I go to the inside and start furnishing my homes, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I have a spot to put one of those couches in. So I always do that. I think I put one upstairs as well. But yeah, what was I talking about before this? Oh yeah, I also added a tiny little laundry room to the kitchen. And then when you walk through the laundry room, there's a little half bathroom all the way in the back there, because I didn't want there to just be bathrooms upstairs. I needed one downstairs as well. So that's where I put it. And I think it ended up looking quite cute. I mean, I've never seen it in real life before. I don't know if it makes any sense at all, but I don't know. It suited this build and I really liked it. Yeah, I think I was talking about the family. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was thinking maybe 2 Sims could live here. Maybe, as I said, like one Sim that maybe inherited this old house from like grandparents that died, or like, I don't know, some older family members that maybe died and left this house in the family. So maybe it could be like a starter couple or like roommates in that sense, so that they didn't have to buy an expensive house, but they could just move in here and like, just start making a living for themselves in this house and maybe save money to eventually either renovate this house completely or just buy something more, like something newer. I don't really know, but yeah, that's the vibe that I was going with. So upstairs there is 2 bedrooms, but I didn't furnish one for a kid or anything. It's just one, like the master bedroom, I guess you would call it. And then an extra bedroom that I turned into as I said, an extra bedroom. And I also put the little office area in there, office space, like a desk and a computer and everything. I put that in there as well. So maybe the people that live here either share the master bedroom, or it's just one Sim living here that's using the master bedroom for themselves, and just have the other room, the extra bedroom, whenever guests are coming over or something like that, and they just use that bedroom as an office area. And both bedrooms upstairs have ensuite bathrooms. So there's, I guess you could say, 2.5 bathrooms in this house. I keep having struggles with the word bathroom. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I can't speak English today, but that's okay. Also, I'm feeling a little bit rushed because usually I do voiceovers when I have like all the time in the world to just sit down and relax. And I can just do voiceovers in my own time and just start over whenever I want. this time it's a little different. I kind of kicked my boyfriend out of the house for like 45 minutes to go and get us some food or something. I don't know. But I just needed him to get out of the house so that I could do this voiceover. So I am at the same time like listening if he's already coming home, because I don't know, I feel a little weird and a little bit embarrassed, even though he is the one that edits my videos and helps me edit these things. And so he listens to me doing the voiceovers, but I can't have him sitting in this house while I'm doing voiceovers. So that's why I feel a little bit rushed. But, you know, it's fine. I think he'll be gone for a little while longer. So yeah, also this is a little bit of a longer voiceover. I think this is the longest one that I have done so far, so please bear with me. You can always just turn the sound off if I'm not making any sense and just rambling on. I'm sorry if that's the case. I'm really trying. I think it's like 27-minute voiceover, and I've never done that before. So it's kind of scary, but I think I'm doing all right. I'm kind of proud of myself. But yeah, anyway, here you can see me furnishing the master bedroom. I was struggling around with it for a little while because it always annoys me when like the windows are not like directly above the bed as they are right now. But if I wanted to place the bed so that you can walk around both sides of it, then it wouldn't be like exactly underneath the window, and that frustrates me. I can't have that. So that's where I decided that I was going to have the bed to the wall. And I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but for me, the scoot over trick actually works. So I can have two Sims in this bed. So I can have a couple living here if I wanted to, because I can actually have two Sims in a bed even if it's against the wall. I don't know if it works like that for you, because I think I've heard some people say that for them it doesn't work. I don't know why that would be the case. But yeah, for me it actually works. So that's why I could go with the storyline that there's actually two Sims living here using this master bedroom. But if it doesn't work for you, you can always just change it up and change the floor plan, and just, if it doesn't bother you, just move the bed over one tile or half a tile so your Sims can walk around both sides of it. But yeah, that's what I did. And I also play tested everything in this house. The way I furnished it right now, I think my Sim couldn't get around or couldn't get past the bed in this bedroom because the chair next to the bouquets was in the way. So I just moved that around a little bit, and the way it's on the gallery right now, it should actually be fine. It should all be working. So it's something that before I would forget from time to time to just play test my builds, and then I started actually playing in them myself, and then I would find out that my build was on the gallery with like a not working bathroom or a not working bedroom or something. I don't know. But I am trying to get better at that, and for the past few builds, I think I play tested everything. So yeah, that should be fine, especially with like the tiny living pack coming out, and I'm building lots of tiny houses. Yeah, you have to play test those. You just have to. I'm actually working on a tiny house, a 64 tile tiny house right now. I'm just taking a break from that to do this voiceover. But I am building that right now, and it's so much fun. I just can't get enough of the tiny living stuff back. I actually do have a few builds coming out, just like this one that I recorded before the stuff pack came out. So there is a few builds going up on my channel where I didn't have the stuff back, so I didn't use any furniture from that stuff back. So if you're wondering, I don't know why you would be wondering, but maybe you're wondering, why isn't she using any tiny living stuff? It's because I recorded it before the pack was out. So yeah, I have one video up right now with the stuff from the stuff pack, and I'm working on my second one right now. I don't know when that one will be up, probably later, like next week or something, whenever I have time to do a voiceover. But yeah, if you're wondering, that's why. And here, yeah, I just totally talked over it, but that was the extra bedroom. I gave that some more color. I made it like a little bit more like a blue, as opposed to the other bedroom that's more neutral and brown. But this one does actually also have an ensuite bathroom, which is very nice. So you could easily like fit maybe even 4 Sims in this house if you wanted to, because the extra bedroom easily fits 2 beds. And yeah, here up on the balcony, I just added some skill building items, English. It's difficult. Because that's also something I want to get better at. I keep forgetting that for gameplay, it's actually very convenient if you would add some skill building items to your builds. So that's something I never really do that often, because I don't tend to build my homes with like gameplay in mind for some reason. I just get carried away with what I'm building, and I'm not really thinking about what the Sims would actually need. Except for computers, I always add computers to my game. But yeah, up on the balcony, I added a little chess table and an easel so that you can work on some skills up there. And there's also a computer in the extra bedroom, so you can work on some skills in that room as well. And yeah, here you can just see me adding some planter boxes, so you can also work on your gardening skill if you want to. But yeah, like I said, this build is up on the gallery. You can find it under the hashtag Simmarysims or Simmary, or just search by using my username, which is also Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want to. My username is at Simmarysims as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're heading on into screenshots pretty soon. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please just give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!
Maybe that's too much for you.